Hello, my name is Ivan Banik, and for my research project, I chose Ukraine and the culture and the religious aspects of it and the history of it. My father is a former Soviet and was part of the Ukraine. So, growing up in the household with him, I had a lot of influence from those cultures because I guess now there is a slight difference between the Soviet Union culture and the Ukrainian modern culture. So back in the Soviet Union times, you weren't allowed to do anything against the state. Music was outlawed that wasn't state approved. Religious activities were uh, not approved. And, well, basically, if it just wasn't with the state, you weren't allowed to do it. Many Russians still wanted to celebrate Christmas. They got around this, and Ukrainians as well. Uh, the Slavic people started celebrating Christmas on New Year's, and that just kind of stuck. So growing up, I got to have Christmas as well as celebrating New Year's as a huge thing. And the religious aspects of Ukraine were widely influenced by the Cyrillic alphabet, which was developed by Greek monks, Cyril and his brother, and the Cyrillic alphabet. And so that's why there is Greek Catholic churches very established there, as well as Orthodox faiths. I grew up in an Orthodox church where the experience is very different from Mormon churches. Instead of having the three-part segments, that is very much the norm. You walk into the church and you start off by getting some candles, donating to the church. Then you go up to your patron saint that's on these icons or portraits that are mounted and then there's sand around it. You light a candle and you stick it in and you pray to or you stick it in the sand, and you pray to your patron saint. Mine was Saint John, or Saint Ivan the Baptist. Um, then you wait and listen to the same singing. They sing a lot in those. And instead of getting bread and water, you get communal wine and these little pieces of bread that have crosses stamped into them. Then the communal wine, everyone gets a spoonful of it, the same spoon. It's very sanitary. Uh, and even though the Soviet Union collapsed in 91, there's still a lot of influence you can still see today. Like, they never bothered demolishing those old, very same apartment buildings that look exactly the same everywhere because they were built with the same blueprints. Um, the business aspect of it, I guess, since this is a management course, is after the collapse of the Soviet Union, most people embraced capitalism because communism was a very flawed system, still is. Um, so dealing with business is very much the same. In Ukraine, when I did visit family there, I remember going to these things called bazaars, which had stalls of just basically thousands of tents just made in one area, and people sold anything from well, there was a butcher shop there, yeah. Um, there was people selling purses, probably fake ones, groceries, video games. I remember seeing stuff that was out in the European countries that wasn't even available in America yet. So that was pretty cool, actually. Um, there was also, instead of having big supermarkets everywhere, they have corner stores almost on every street corner, and people have tiny refrigerators, and they just go grocery shopping more often than once a month on a $200 bill. Um, because of the Soviet Union, people still have a lot of paranoia instilled in them because of the KGB and the fear of being shipped off to Siberia and never being seen again. So trust is a very fundamental, big thing in Soviet culture, and there's a lot of superstitions that people have that are just taboo, and those can also influence how they trust you, if you mind that or not. So it's important to pay attention and, well, really just not upset them in that way. Thank you.